Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. The Mace
Shout,
version, of course.
shout out Mace.
Shout out Murda Mace or Mace Murda when he was with Cameron and the Children of the Corn. Do you remember that? Do you know about
Um,
that?
I know about it. I wasn't there for it. Like I wasn't there at the time, but yeah. Shout out
Neither
both
was I.
both Mace and Cameron, right, for being homies and then being mortal enemies and now being homies again
They played
and
on the
doing
same
their
basketball team.
actually quite funny sports show now. So kudos to them for that.
Oh, I'd like to see that. I haven't seen it. The
It's
only
pretty.
rap related thing I've seen is some barbershop podcast in New York City.
No, they're actually pretty funny, bro. You should watch some
Well,
of the clips.
I will. I'm a big Mace guy. Let's watch Draymond Green here. This is going to cause a rift in our relationship, Eric. I know it is. But let's watch him.
Now watch the end of this play. As he goes down, watch him grab Draymond right there.
He stomps
Now,
him in the
that
middle of
right
his
there
chest, Eric. You
is
can't
where the
just.
foul
So I
came
watched
in.
this the first time. Everybody can hear it. So he falls.
So he grabs
puts Sabonis
Draymond's
on the
leg
ground.
right there. Now
He
Draymond
grabs his
steps
leg
on him.
and he full blown stomps him. Now I watched this the first time, and then I was like, okay, you got to step on him a little bit. Like I watched it in full speed. I'm like, you got to step on the guy a little bit if he's grabbing your leg. As soon as I heard them say he grabbed his leg, I was like, you got to step on him a little bit. This is sports. I support this. You got to play a little dirty like that. If he's going to grab your leg, you step on him. But then I saw the replay, Eric, and Draymond Green full blown pulls up. Can't see my knee. Full pulls up and stomps on him in the middle of the chest. You can't do that. Golden State's greasy. What can I say? Draymond's a hard player, but you can't be stomping dudes. I have a feeling you're going to disagree.
But you can grab their ankle, so that's
That's
okay.
not the same as a stomp.
But you're clearly look Sabonis, right? That's the guy who was on the
Mm-hmm.
ground there. I
Sabonis
think
Jr.
so. Maybe I might be giving him too much credit here, but maybe he had the presence of mind to realize that if he kind of ruffles Draymond's feathers, then Draymond's gonna like fly off the handle, right? So it's a real like kind of chess move, I think. So he's like, "Oh, this is Draymond. If I just do one little thing, then I can kind of trigger him." And I mean, it's the playoffs, so they're gonna do whatever they need to do to get rid of the Golden State Warriors. So he hugs his ankle a little bit, and then Draymond, of course, being Draymond. First of all, you make it seem like he just crushed the guy. He didn't look that bad to me.
He's
Right?
like
I'm not,
260 pounds.
dude. He didn't put all of his weight on the guy. He like kept, like tapped it and then kept going. Okay, maybe tap isn't the right word, but I mean, the guy's he's still playing. Draymond's not. Draymond's suspended, but the other guy's fine. He's absolutely fine. So I
Let's
don't think
watch it
it.
again in full screen. Is that
Look, I
okay?
don't think it was that big of a deal. It's
Let's
just that
watch it in full screen.
Draymond has the
Yeah.
reputation, and Sabonis knew that. So he knew that any conflict, any contact between him and Draymond was automatically he was going to get the benefit of the doubt because of Draymond's history.
So it's a racist thing. Oh, it's not working when it's like that. Um, I think that you do have to do that sometimes. I mean, it depends on the era. We're in a very soft era. We've talked about hockey as well recently being soft now and how some leagues want to get rid of fighting. They've been trying to do that for a long time. It's part of the emasculation of men ongoing. But have you ever watched the highlights of rough late 80s play? Talking about the Pistons. I'm talking about even Larry Bird versus Abdul Jabbar the other day. I was watching a great compilation of, and it was so much more violent. I've gotten into arguments with my friend who says, based on hockey is a good example because I'm Canadian. 80s to early 80s to mid 80s, Wayne Gretzky skating circles around people. He's taking shots from the blue line and scoring. Hockey was objectively bad for the most players were bad, and then the good players were so much better. And then the early 90s, goalies like Patrick Waugh and Brodeur and these guys started coming into the league, and all of a sudden it's not that easy anymore. All of a sudden there's giant guys who can crush people. So there's a big difference from the 80s to the 90s and then the 2000s to now, where everybody just gets stronger, bigger, and faster. In the NBA, people were super talented in the mid 80s as opposed to the NHL where it's the mid 90s. So I think it's hard for people who don't watch that to understand that they were literally beating each other up back then. So it wouldn't matter now if you had what's a smaller if you had the Raptors who won the NBA championship in 2019 versus the 1989 Detroit Pistons. I mean, they're the same size roughly. Lambeer 6'11", and then Rodman's like 6'8". So it's not like they're huge guys, but
That's
roughly
pretty big.
yeah, but I'm saying the Raptors were roughly the same size. They didn't have any giants. They would have been faster. They probably could have shot from deeper. But when even Isaiah Thomas is beating, let's say he's beating up Fred VanVleet, and Dennis Rodman's beating up Kawhi, so forth and so forth. Their skill is only going to take them so far, but physically being beaten up would work. I feel like against some of the modern teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, the game has changed hugely, right? You're talking about the late 80s or early 90s or whatever. And just to bring it full circle, I guess, Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors is basically the main guy who changed the entire game, right? So now
Hmm.
everybody has to basically be able to shoot it from damn near half court. It's absolutely ridiculous. But back to Draymond, I don't think this was that big of a deal. I don't think he should have been suspended. I think that it's the playoffs, bro. And yes, these things this would have been a two-shot foul in 1988, 1998 even, right? So now everybody's so soft. The guys, rolling around there like Peter Griffin or like a soccer player or something, and it's all completely fake. But like I said, he knew that he was going to get the benefit of the doubt no matter what happened. So if he does that to anybody else except for Draymond Green, then maybe he gets a second look. People take a second look at him. But because Draymond, it doesn't matter. He's the bad guy. Whatever. In 2015, he kicked the guy in the balls, and then I mean, there's a handful of things that Draymond has done. I can't. What else did he do after he kicked the guy in the balls? And then there was something else that he like got
Rodman did
suspended.
that too. I don't know.
Well, whatever. The
Rodman
point
kicked a
is,
cameraman in the balls.
but I guess the point is, Draymond is like from an era past. Meanwhile, Steph Curry is the epitome of the new era where you don't he doesn't even go into the paint at all. He'll just get and if he gets touched, will that immediately be a foul? Like I don't even know how soft how incredibly dainty the entire thing has become basically because of Steph Curry. Well, you have Draymond on and maybe that's why the team is so good. Well, maybe I guess they're not that good this year, but it's because they have that hard hitting player like Draymond and the super soft, light skinned dude shooting it from half court, right? So I don't
Wow, you
know, but
can't say
shout
that.
out Draymond. The bottom line is anybody who says they wouldn't want him on their team is lying.
Turn it up, Jordan.